Gentlemen, to the World of Wrestling podcast, here to discuss about boxing news and rumors, episode number 8. First one on the docket, we're going to do 3 articles today. One's dealing with Ryan Garcia. He's 100% interested in a big fight with Boots Ennis. He mentions that facing Boots Ennis would be a mega fight. Totally agree with that. And the belief is that he thinks that he's a better fighter than Stianos, which Jaron Boots Ennis actually managed to walk through. He didn't really have all that much difficulty. And a lot of people were questioning whether or not he had the capabilities of doing that, in which case he overcame with no major issue. This is definitely a fight I could see happening by next year after Ryan Garcia gets through Devin Haney and Romero. I think there's a lot of stuff going on right now that needs to be worked out first before that fight can even happen. He needs to resolve the controversy that occurred during his fight with Devin Haney and win this fight clean without having no substance in his system. He also is going to need to get through Romero on May 2nd, which should be a good fight, and is the headliner of the main event. So it should be interesting how that goes down. And Ennis is not looked at as a top priority in the welterweight division as if he's a top-notch fighter. He's a guy that people look at as a possible prospect, even though he's got a ton of fucking belts now underneath his name at this point. And, I mean, I think Ennis Garcia, hell of a fucking fight. I think a lot of people that are boxing fans will purchase this fight without question. I think this would be an outstanding fight, and I would fucking enjoy the shit out of it to see it unfold live and in person. Well, not in person, but you know what I mean, on pay-per-view. So I'd definitely pay money to see that event. I wish I had the money to watch Ryan Garcia against Rolly Romero, but I don't know if I do or not. I'm very interested. I haven't watched boxing live in a while. I've been watching it on replays because I've been focusing on the UFC and what's going on there. I've not been betting on boxing, but I've been following it. I enjoy watching it regardless of the fact that I'm not betting on it. See, that's one of the important things. You have to be, interested in watching it without having to make money off of it to be a true fan of the sport, in which case I don't need to bet on it for me to be entertained by it. But I do have that itch that comes about every once in a while, and it's like, come on, bet on boxing. It's not as hard as UFC. There's not so many variables. It's pretty much straightforward in your face type of shit. Come on, just parlay 2 or 3 legs and you're good to go. And I've done that. I've been successful with it, but there's been weeks where I've lost. And in UFC, all you have to do is bet on one guy and you win, and that's it. You're done for the night. You enjoy the rest of the card. And you just watch the show and enjoy yourself. And that's pretty much why I bet on UFC over boxing. But boxing is not hard to bet on. It's just a pain in the ass having to parlay, like I mentioned in the MMA news and rumors video. That's the main issue I have with betting on boxing. But as it comes to, being a fan of the sport, absolutely no issues with it. I love boxing. My dad was a boxer at one point in his life as a youngster. Fortunately, I never got to see him fight, and it was never recorded on any kind of... It wasn't on live television or anything like that. So it was a little disappointing to never be able to see my dad box. But he did box at one point in his life. But he never made it as a major fighter. And he also never competed for a world title in his weight class, which was welterweight division. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love boxing. My dad was a boxer at one point in his life, and he used to watch it with me all the time whenever there was a good fight on. Lost interest in it over time, but uh, I watch boxing because I do love boxing, but also out of respect for my dad in a sense, because it reminds me of all the times he talked to me about boxing and how you can be a good boxer. He knew he was very good at teaching it, but actually doing it, he fucking sucked at. He had no eye coordination skills whatsoever. But learning from him, seeing how these guys fight in the ring and what he taught me about it, it's 100% what he said. You go for the body. You don't worry about the head so much. You worry about hitting the body for a few rounds. It slows them down, lowers down the stamina, and then you work your way up to the head. In the meantime, while you're trying to get to the body, keep your hands up, guarding your face, and you don't allow the guy to hit you in the face, because if he hits you in the face and gets one good shot on you, you're fucking done. That's what he taught me about boxing. It's also very important to have good footwork. Don't be flat-footed, bounce around on your feet like Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, guys like them. That is the type of fighting skills that he thinks that can make you a great fighter. He didn't have those capabilities. That's why he didn't believe he could be as good of a fighter that he wished he could have been. But yeah, that's pretty much me deep down why I like boxing, on account of my dad, and I have followed it on and off throughout the years of my life. And boxing has become really good over the last, I'd say, 5 to 6 years. So it's pretty much the reason why I follow it. We have Shakur Stevenson slated to defend his strap against the unbeaten interim champion William Zepeda on July 12th in New York City. This will be on the Ring Magazine card. That's huge. William Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson. Tevin Farmer in their first fight looked close. This rematch was not even close. I watched that fight. William Zepeda fucking beat his ass. I was thinking about betting that fight, but I was like, nah, that fight was way too close. God forbid it ends up being the same result again, being way too close, and I end up losing this time because of judge's decision. I'm like, nah, that would be a waste of money throwing that away. So I was like, nah, I'm just going to kick back and enjoy the fucking show. And hope I'm right, and that's it. But yeah, Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda, July 12th. That's going to be huge. I hope that is available, not having to pay on pay-per-view, because I would really love to be able to watch this live, and I would pass up watching a UFC fight card for this. So I hope that's the case. I hope that we get Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda on like DAZN to be able to watch for just through the subscription that we have with DAZN, because this is, to me, is huge. Turkey Alashika on Wednesday night on Twitter/X made the announcement. He needed to smooth things over because this will be his card on July 12th. Ring Magazine reports that the date for Shakur Stevenson Zepeda will be on July 12th, and the location of the fight will be in New York City. The former 3-division world champion Shakur Stevenson, as 27, has been pushing real hard for the Zepeda fight for well over a year, viewing it as one that will pay well and lead to him getting the Gervonta Tank Davis fight. I think he's got a legitimate pathway to Gervonta Davis if he beats William Zepeda. I think that would be a huge jump for him when it comes to level of competition, name value, so forth. I think this is definitely the place where Shakur Stevenson needs to shine. Beating William Zepeda by decision, I mean, I can imagine him getting the push that he needs by just beating him by decision in dominant fashion. If he can do that in dominant fashion and win the majority of the fight, where there's no chance the judges could give it to William Zepeda or even make it remotely close, I could say, Gervonta Davis at that point is just fucking dodging someone that could possibly beat him and not having enough confidence in himself to knock his opponent out. And Lamont Roach has already proven that Gervonta Davis is a beatable guy. And they're having a rematch sometime later on this year, which I think Lamont Roach is going to fucking possibly walk away with a very close win, personally. I think he should have won the first fight, but I think he's going to win this time. I don't think it's going to come out to be where Gervonta Davis gets a W. It states that if Turkey is bankrolling the Zepeda card, it will pay well. However, it still remains to be seen if Shakur will win and if Gervonta will agree to fight him. You can't blame Tank for being less than excited about fighting Stevenson after the way he ran from Edwin De Los Santos for 12 rounds 2 years ago in 2023. The money may change Davis's view about fighting Shakur if he's victorious against Zepeda. Like I just said, beating William Zepeda, a very valuable name in the sport of boxing, and Shakur Stevenson doing what he's done to other names and doing it to this level of a name like William Zepeda in dominant fashion, I think could get him the capability and backing that he needs to get a big fight with a guy like Gervonta Davis. Zepeda's upset potential. It's interesting how confident Shakur is of beating Zepeda. I don't know, Shakur, you might want to reconsider that. Zepeda ain't no walk through the park. Seems to think he has no chance of losing, but he had the same view about himself going into the finals of the 2016 Olympics against Robozy Ramirez. He got chased around the ring by him and wound up losing. Zepeda has more offensive ability than Robozy, but not nearly the same speed. If he can cut off the ring on Shakur and force him to fight, he's got a chance of beating him. I agree with that. I really do. I think William Zepeda is one of the toughest opponents that Shakur is going to face. Shakur doesn't possess the same firepower as Zepeda. 100% agree on that comment as well. We saw that in his last fight against Josh Padley when he looked weak standing in the pocket. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, he should have knocked out Padley a lot sooner than he did. I mean, he knocked him out, I believe, in round 9 on February 22nd of this year. Josh Padley came in to a fight just recently, last week, during the Dalton Smith fight card for Matchroom, and he looked good. He really did. I mean, he didn't have a full camp. He had like 2 days to prepare for this against William Shakur Stevenson. I mean, that's not a whole lot of time to compete against prepare for a guy who's fucking untouchable practically, unless he goes up against a high-level fighter like a guy like William Zepeda. And Josh Padley did not look bad in the fight against Shakur Stevenson. Honestly, I think Shakur Stevenson was a level down compared to what he used to be. I think it has a lot to do with his fist. I think it's his left fist or his right fist that breaks most of the time. And he had a fight that came up at one point that he was supposed to have, and he broke his hand and was withdrawn out of the fight. I think it was like a couple of years back, like a year or so. Yeah, it was last year. When he first signed with Matchroom, he wasn't he was unable to fight because he broke his hand, which is fucking crazy. This guy's not even 30 yet. He's like in his late 20s, and he's already breaking his fucking hands. That's just crazy. Just crazy, man. Cool, we're going to discuss tonight, and then I'm done for the week. I'm going to discuss with you guys the Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois 2 faces a hurdle after IBF orders Derek Chisora a mandatory opportunity for Daniel Dubois' championship for the IBF title. That's kind of fucked up. You're going to force someone to pass up a fight with Alexander Usyk in a rematch because of... This is why boxing... This is one of the things about boxing that I don't like. Boxing has governing bodies of the championships and then individual promotions that don't hold the power over those belts. I think each and every promotion should have their own championship belt. That's the problem with boxing. These promotions can intertwine. They can fight each other with the champions that hold the specific belts. They can be, champions could be ready and prepared for a big fight, and then the body of that title decides whether or not that's okay or not. Like in this situation, Derek Chirosa, like what the fuck? Like he's a mid-tier fighter. He's a guy in the top 10. This ain't he ain't no top 5, in my personal opinion. I don't think he comes close to a Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, Usyk, Tyson Fury. You gotta be fucking crazy to compare. I think Daniel Dubois would knock him right off his ass. I personally am not a fan of this situation that they have to book him as the next opponent instead of passing up this big fight opportunity that will make a fucking shitload of money. I mean, you could have Usyk or Daniel Dubois, the winner of that fight, go on to face this dude. Why do we have to pass up a good fight opportunity that's right there in front of us so that we can give someone else an opportunity at a title that isn't even at the level of those two fighters? It just makes no sense to me. It's just plain fucking crazy. But let's continue on. The IBF has thrown a hurdle in the way of an Usyk-Dubois rematch for the undisputed heavyweight title. On Wednesday, the sanctioning body formally ordered Dubois to defend his IBF heavyweight title against its mandatory challenger, Derek Chisora, in the next bout. Dubois and Chisora have until May 22nd to reach a deal, or the fight will head to purse bids, where Dubois will be entitled to 65% of winning offer, and Chisora will receive only 35%. The minimum bid is $200,000, although the winning bid would almost certainly be much higher. But is currently negotiating a unification fight with Usyk that is in discussions for July 12th at Wembley Stadium in London, England. That's huge. That is a huge fucking fight. And you already got Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda on there? Come on, man. You gotta make the fucking fight happen. It's huge. Per the IBF rules, Dubois may request an exemption from his mandatory defense against Chisora, allowing him to face Usyk before the IBF sets a purse bid hearing, which is likely to happen around May 22nd, when the negotiation period for Dubois versus Chisora expires. Usyk, uncrowned number 1 male pound-for-pound boxer, knocked out Dubois in the 9th round in their first meeting to retain his unified heavyweight title in Poland in August 2023. But the drama began long before Dubois set out the count from a heavy Usyk jab. In the fifth round, Dubois floored Usyk with a right hand that was controversially ruled as a low blow. Usyk was given several minutes to recover, much to the disappointment of Dubois and Queensberry Frank Warren, who unsuccessfully filed an official appeal with the WBA contesting the referee's decision. Chisora, 36-13 with 23 knockouts. This guy's an aged boxer, and 36-13 is not an impressive record in boxing, man. To me, that's shit. That's top 10 tier, maybe top 15 in my book overall. And he accompanies the number 2 position in the IBF heavyweight rankings, which he earned after beating Otto Wallen in an official IBF eliminator in February. Chisora wasn't supposed to be the mandatory challenger. The IBF had previously ordered Martin Bakole and Efe Ajabi to collide in an IBF final eliminator. However, Bakole stepped in on 48 hours' notice to take on Joseph Parker on the Ottarbiev versus Dmitry Bivol 2 undercard in February. IBF rules do not allow boxers in a final eliminator take an interim bout, so when Bakole agreed to fight Parker, he disqualified himself from the IBF eliminator against Ajabi. Bakole will still face Ajabi on the Canelo Alvarez versus William Skull undercard on May 3rd, but it will not be a final eliminator at all. So that is pretty much the entire article there. I honestly think that IBF need to give Daniel Dubois the go to pursuing the Usyk fight first, then face Chisora, and that's it. Let Chisora, train, prepare for this fight. It'll give him plenty of time to do that, and, go from there, and then see who his opponent would be. If I was him, I would be rooting for Daniel Dubois to win, simply because I think Daniel Dubois would give him a better shot at winning. Usyk, far better fighter. The only disadvantage I think Usyk has now at this point in time in his career is age. I think that's the only thing that's going to play a huge factor in his ability to win these upcoming future fights that he's got left in him. I honestly think he should be retired at this point. He's at the top of his game, and personally, I think him suffering an L would be a bigger loss than him winning fights, because at this point, he's got nothing to gain and everything to lose at this point in his career. He has beaten Tyson Fury, the number 1 ranked heavyweight fighter in the business for a very long time, had boxing soaring because of his name being so successful at what he did, made Deontay Wilder turn into shit after he beat his fucking ass in one fight, and every out of the other 3 fights, he destroyed him. I mean, Deontay Wilder did knock Tyson Fury down, but I believe that was a draw in their first fight. In the second and third fight, he just fucking kicked his ass. So, I mean, personally, I think IBF needs to give Daniel Dubois an opportunity to revenge his loss, because I did go back and watch that fight a while ago, and I would agree that was controversial. He did get hit in the gut. I don't think it was in the groin, but based on how fast, the real time, you can't really tell. You have to really slow it down and watch a replay of it to see that it was not a low blow. It was he literally hit him in the gut with that punch. But, I mean, anyone could make that kind of mistake as a referee, so it's totally understandable. But anyway, guys, that is all I have to say at this time. You know what to do. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. Definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching. And have a great night, guys. Bye.